Every year, brilliant minds come together for 1 week in the Sonoran Desert to showcase and celebrate the growing innovation, creative, and entrepreneurial ecosystems of the Southwest. Led by Startup Tucson and Ranch House Media, TENWEST Impact Festival unites our audiences to gain the knowledge and inspiration they need to make a difference within their own careers and communities. Welcome to TENWEST Talks, our podcast where we broadcast the TENWEST mission and vision to the world.
Welcome to the TENWEST Talks podcast. I do have a script I usually am supposed to read, but today Ricardo is going to do a proper intro for this podcast, if you will, sir.
Gracias, Matt. Y nos encontramos en el Centro de Convenciones de Tucson, Arizona, el día de hoy, 8 de noviembre, sentado aquí a mi lado con el productor del evento TENWEST Festival 2023, Matt Baquet, y mi amigo, socio fundador de Parque La Ruina, José Luis de Champs. Bienvenidos.
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 How was that?
That was good. I thought you would do it a little more in the Mexican radio voice.
I'm so sorry, man.
But it's okay. And we would do this whole podcast en español, pero yo necesito mucho práctica.
Okay.
So in English, it's okay? It's okay. You guys speak much better English than I speak español.
Perfecto.
Perfecto, papa. Well, guys, I have one thing in my bag of tricks. I figured we start it this way because you must be thirsty. I know I am.
Nice. If it's what I'm imagining.
I want you to take this cerveza
Ooh.
and explain to the people what it is
Okay.
and where it comes from. And then I have another one and then one more. So let's do one at a time.
Do we open it?
Sí, señor.
Haha. So Ricky's gonna be the good one for this.
Let's
It's a beer drink.
take a taste, please. So, what Jose Luis is trying right now is a beer made in our house, Parque La Ruina, in Hermosillo, Sonora. It's a brewery we built 3 years ago. This past weekend was our third anniversary making beer. This is one of our 3 house beers called La Dorada. It's Spanish for La Golden, the golden beer. It's a lager beer. It's a super friendly, tasty beer for anyone who likes any commercial one. But what we like to sell or spend, nuestro diálogo acerca de esto is it's better built beer. It's like natural ingredients, no conservadores.
Muy bien.
It's still alive. You could notice some of the cans exploded.
Sí.
Because we don't pasteurize our beer.
Okay.
So it's the most natural you can have. I would give you a little bit, but...
See, I actually turn into a gremlin if I drink beer. So I'm sorry that I'm not able to taste it, but I am on a streak of almost 120 days with no
That's great.
cerveza, which I love
Congratulations.
cerveza.
Amazing.
So with that, before I pull out these other drinks, Athletic Brewing. Non-alcoholic beer, sponsor of TENWEST. Really delicious.
Nice.
And next, I have, drum roll, very beautiful can.
Okay,
Tell us about this one.
is a Chela...
Chabela.
Chabela. This is a special edition beer made with a group with an association in Hermosillo for an event they do. It's called La Fiesta 41. It's mostly for the Pride Day.
Okay.
So this is a organization that promotes inclusion, diversity, and they do this talks for concientizar, making people conscious
Sí.
about their workforce when there's diversity and inclusion. So this is what the group stands for, and they made an event at Parque La Ruina at El Galerón, a big party, the Pride Day party. And this is a beer we made with them for special edition.
And what kind of beer is it?
This is a hazy IPA.
Okay, muy
One
bien.
of my favorites.
Okay, and uno más, which,
Man.
this is going to be a long podcast.
I haven't had breakfast.
Ole.
I love that.
Okay, uno más. This one is also a beautiful design, by the way. Very well designed beers.
Yeah,
Looks like
it's
an
a great
IPA.
design. I remember when they showed it. It's amazing. I like that a lot. When you
That's
see it all in
our.
the same one in a big plane.
Yeah, when it's all flattened
it's
out.
flat. It's amazing.
It's a nice
This is
illustration.
our. The name of this beer is the Duna, the Dune in English. That's because Hermosillo has some beautiful views and some beautiful dunes.
Sí, mismo Tucson.
And this is an IPA. This is our house IPA. It's a really traditional IPA flavor, but super nice, easy, and fresh. I love the beer Cesar, our master brewer, makes. So
Cesar. Shout out Cesar.
I'm always gonna talk good about him and the beer he does because it's super tasty.
And then,
He loves making beer.
okay,
He's a
well,
passionate brew maker.
hell yeah, then the beer
Salud
must be good.
for
Salud,
Cesar.
mi
Cesar,
dude.
salud.
Gracias por todos, for being here, for everything.
Gracias a ti, Matt. It's been amazing being around here
And
and connecting with a lot of nice people.
good, they better be nice, or you tell me their name and we'll figure something out. This is the last beer I pull out. It's by Dragoon Brewing, another 10 West sponsor. And also very passionate, great dudes. It's a gift to you.
Oh,
From me.
Gracias, hermano.
I don't think they're necessarily serving this one here right now, so.
Look, it's golden ale, so dorada
Sí.
and golden.
Oh, perfecto. Yeah, maybe it's the sister brewer.
Let's make them hang out a little bit. Like,
Yes.
hey, I'm your Mexican friend. Hey, hey.
And you know,
Welcome to
I'm a
Tucson.
dad and you're a dad, and dads love koozies. So if your beer gets a little warm,
That's true, man.
you feel free to put it in this 10 West koozie. Okay, enough with this bag.
Me scusi. Startup Tucson.
I love Scusi, man.
Well, guys, I guess I should also give the people a little bit of context here. This is Ricardo Gleason, mi hermano, and mi hermano, Jose Luis Deschamps.
Yes, sir.
These guys are doing great work in the sister city of Hermosillo. I call it a sister city because I see Tucson and Hermosillo as very similar cities. Not only because they share the Sonoran Desert region, which is a very special region, but also because they're similar in size. They're similarly underrated and overlooked communities. And they similarly produce crazy sons of guns like the three sitting here. And so that's why I think we have been
That's true,
brought together. And the projects you guys are representing here at 10 West are, first and foremost, Parque La Ruina, ¿cómo se dice? Fábrica
de cerveza La Ruina.
Exacto. Collab Ventures, right? Venture Studio, perdón. Noro Media Company. And Necodex, which you'll have to tell us a little more about because I don't know so much. I believe it's a nearshoring company, right?
It's a programming nearshoring company, I think.
Okay.
But it all came out of, I think it all came out, we started with Parque La Ruina, and all of these projects have lived in Parque La Ruina. So what I can tell you about Nicodes, it's like a huge of talented guys who work on computers and know a lot of things that we don't know. We're most the creative and the doers of the work. But these guys, they work with people all around Mexico, all around the world, I think. Engineers and programming, and they're really cool guys.
Right on.
Necodex starts like in the innovation part of La Ruina movement in La Ruina. Like we didn't have anything to do with it, but we opened up Espacio Abierto, our co-working offices inside the park. And first we started renting or attracting friendly ecosystem companies that would help us like develop more or attract more of the same.
Okay. Yes, and I will just share that my experience with Parque La Ruina, and I was completely blown away. I had heard about it just through passing through people who are, Tucson's not very far from Hermosillo, so a lot of people have been like, oh, there's this new project, there's a bunch of badass stuff happening, there's a studio, and I never really pieced it all together. And then last year at a festival I was producing called Hoko Fest, here in Tucson. Ricky was there, and so was the artist Calancho with his manager Abram. And they just introduced me to this curly hair guy with these cool glasses. They're like, you gotta go visit this place that he's managing, that he's cultivating in Hermosillo. You have to see it. And I was like, okay, yeah, this guy seems cool. I like his vibe. And then it stuck in my head, because I'm always, mi esposa es de Mexico, right? So my son is a dual citizen. I'm always looking to just connect the countries more, do things that we can share in both of our cultures. And I'm always trying to find more connections in Hermosillo. And so at the right moment, which was in preparation for TENWEST, I reached back out to Abram. I said, hey, who was that cool dude that had the cool place in Hermosillo? Which one was that? And he's like, oh, yeah, Ricky at Parque La Ruina. You need to hit him up. Here's his contact. So, okay, gracias.
Gracias, Abraham.
It was
Caloncho.
yeah, shout out. Great guys. Great music also.
They're gonna be next week.
And Hermosillo, I know I'm going to miss. I'm out of town, but give him a big abrazo for me. But so I slid into Ricky's DMs, as men do often, but not usually to other men. Well, I guess not necessarily true, right? Pero I slid into his DMs. I said, hey, man, it's me, this guy you met through Calancho and Abram. And
Some really big name dropping.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's kind of cool. They're kind of cool guys.
They're the coolest guys around.
They
right?
really are. They are. And I said, hey, man, we're doing this thing. I would really like to, find a way to collaborate with you on it. And sure enough, Ricky came up to Tucson. We watched this band, We Intend to Cause Havoc, Witch from Zambia.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm going to come to the show. And my buddy Jose Luis is about to have a baby. So we're coming up for that too. But I'm more interested in the show. No, I'm just kidding.
It was fun, man. It was fun that day. I was like, Ricky, you were going to Tucson, right? Well, my kid came 2 weeks early. Let's go.
Ole.
Yeah, I said, Matt told me after that DM, like, hey, let's talk in about 2 weeks. Let's have a call or something. And I saw that the band Witch was having a show here in Tucson, and I hit him up, and I'm like, hey, are you going to this show? Because I'm going to go over there, and let's see it together. And he said, like, yeah, I'm the promoter for that show.
Oh.
If you come, you'll get a free pass.
If my partner hears this, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so it all worked. It's a very romantic.
He also got me a discount at Cultural Congress. So
Oh,
that's nice.
I can't do that.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah. So for giving people some context, if anyone gets to hear this podcast,
Sí.
just Hermosillo is in Mexico. It's down south the border from Nogales, Arizona, just 3 hours drive south. So it's super close.
4 hours from
4
Tucson.
hour drive to Tucson.
Yes, so that's why it was so easy for Ricky just to slide up for a show. And also, oftentimes, a lot of people in Hermosillo will have their kids in the hospitals in Tucson or Phoenix or whatever, and that's totally normal. We're very connected cities. So, long story short, Ricky came up. We spent about 2 days together. It was the time of our lives. We ate some food. He came to my house. He met my wife and my son.
Beautiful people.
Beautiful people. I love them. And we were just very aligned in our values, in our goals, in our projects. And then fast forward to now, the group is here. You and all your colleagues, Jose Luis, they're here represented at TENWEST. They were set up with a lounge at the Street Fest. They have had a booth in the lobby each day here. I'm looking at it right now behind the cameras. And they just presented a very inspiring session in a breakout room about their journey from being two ambitious young dudes in a city like Hermosillo that was needing a injection of young energy and new inspiration to now, in my honest opinion, and I've traveled quite a bit, a world-class venture and park in the center of Hermosillo. And when I actually got to visit it in person, what was that, 2 months ago?
2 months ago, right?
I was completely blown away. just the details, the integration of the old and the new, because it's in an old abandoned Fabrica warehouse, an old textile warehouse. The way they incorporate that into just a cutting edge venture studio, a music studio, a venue, a food truck park, a park for children, a restaurant with the biggest ceiling fan I have ever seen in my life, a skate park. I mean, it's very thoughtful, guys. It's really well done. It's like nothing I've really seen anywhere, to be honest. Maybe except Austin, Texas, kind of has some vibes like that.
You're gonna
But
make
it's
me
still
cry.
better. But it's
it's
still
been-
better than Austin because it's in Mexico, and honestly, Mexico just has a flavor that you don't really find in the U.S. And I'm just. I don't want you guys to get a boner or anything here, but it is the best
Can I kiss you
venue
in
in
the
the
lips?
area. So congratulations on all that you built, and yeah, I mean, I have no direction for this podcast, but let's talk about it, right? Like, where did the inspiration come from? Where were you living when you decided this is where I want to move and this is what I want to do, and let's go from there. No.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I mean, really, I really appreciate your words. I mean, it's really, as I was telling you guys, this is really fuel for us to keep on going, because it's been like a really nice adventure, a really fun adventure, but it's also been hard sometimes.
I can imagine.
But at the end, it's all worth it. It's more than worth it. I can tell you that at some point in when we were doing the park, I was so happy that I was saying like I can die tomorrow and I can die happy and free. I was like
Satisfied.
satisfied. I was like
See.
that, but that's true. I was at some point I was like, man, it's crowded. I'm doing what I love. I mean, everything we imagine, we just imagine it and get it done, and sometimes it works, sometimes it not. But we got something solid, and people's reacting to it. What we're doing right. That's what we were like trying to figure out. So what we're doing right, that's making everything work together.
Like
And I think it was something that you said right now, the core values that we were sharing, the core values we were sharing with the people who were bringing us together. I can tell you, I feel home right now because everyone around's got the same values, and there's something special about it. And I think that's one of the key points of Parque La Ruina. I mean, they made. Hopefully, you felt at home when you were with us. So
Sí, mucho.
that's what
Muy.
we're trying to do.
Yeah, it's like we didn't know what we were doing. We were just enjoying it, giving it all for ourselves. Something we didn't mention, and probably you don't know, for the first 5 years living in Hermosillo, we were roommates.
Oh, see?
Yeah, we were roommates, housemates, and work colleagues. He was my boss also.
See.
So it was
No separation.
he got married, fortunately. So it all
How
came
did
to
that
work
make you
out.
feel?
Actually, 4 years ago tomorrow.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
So, like I told you, we were just doing what it felt right, and seeing and feeling people react positively to that just kept us keep going. And later on, we learned and we proved that what we were doing was actually a thesis that it's an example around the world. Like placemaking wasn't invented yesterday, but a lot of people don't know about placemaking. We didn't know we were doing placemaking until someone told us that. So we started investigating a lot more on the project, and it was like, wow, naturally, we've been doing all these things just because they feel right, natural, and authentic. And that's what works, and that's what makes the world spin. Like real interactions.
Real connection.
Exactly.
Who told you, or who coined the term placemaking for you? Who brought that into your life?
I think it was
An
the
architect,
an
Bernardo
architect,
Vieri.
Bernardo.
Okay.
He put us a video. I remember right now when he played. He showed us a video of a guy who was just like, look, there's a parking lot there, and then he put a. I don't remember. It was like a clown.
It was a TED talk. I don't remember the title, neither the name, but Yeah, he gave an example that he put a throne, just like a photo opportunity in a parking lot that didn't happen anything, and people started reacting through that throne and taking pictures. There was like a
That's
big
cool.
chair throne and a big king or queen hat, and
That visual helps, right? Because like placemaking, like
And-
that was not a destination, that was not a point on the map. And just like the Nathaniel Cano mural at Parque La Ruina, now it is, you
It
know?
is.
And now that is literally a point on the map. When I was in Hermosillo, I saw it on the map.
Google Maps.
I was like, órale.
it's going down in 1 week.
No manches.
So if you haven't seen it, it's your last week to see that
Take a
Nathaniel
picture, man.
Cano mural.
How long has it been there?
It's
2
now
months.
going to be 2 months.
Okay, wow. Well, that's crazy because it's already on Google Maps or Waze or whatever. Well, cool. Well, when you told me that term, it really resonated for me too, because I feel like, what you're doing, you're making a business and you're making a venue, but you're really making your city a better city to live in.
Yeah, actually, that's an important thing we noticed. I mean, at the beginning, we just was a bunch of entrepreneurs, you can say. Look, kids eager to get things done, to create things. I can consider ourselves the creatives, and we were looking for a place where we can put all. I mean, what we've seen when we travel some other places, but we didn't have at home.
See.
So when we found when we found this huge piece of land that was abandoned and was waiting for it to be developed, it was like, okay, let's use it as a canvas for us to show and to build what we can while we can, but all according to our values and what we've seen around the world and that we would like to share with people.
And also a super lifestyle based business. Like something that we really liked. I've worked in other jobs or offices, and I've been miserable, man. I've been super miserable working for a mission I do not believe or I'm not in love with. So having this place to us to use as a canvas and put in whatever we liked, and sometimes people reacted positively and sometimes people didn't. A lifestyle based business helped like other people feel aligned and attracted to that, because they also felt that it fitted in their life or the life they wanted.
You're
And
creating
also,
culture.
What I can make an analogy. One of my brothers-in-law, he's a cute musician, and I remember him always like, he was okay. Listen that riff. Look at that drums. Look at that, and he was always taking like part of different kind of music and recording them and putting it all together. And suddenly he found a place or a song where they can put them all together. And if you put it on the park, I mean, on my side of creativity, I think I like a lot of places, spaces. I'm not an architect, but I like that kind of stuff. So whenever I travel and on entertainment, also Ricky, we're always traveling and seeing good things around the world. It's like inspiration. But suddenly we found this song, this canvas where we could put everything together. So it became, as I told you, our canvas to try everything we saw that was working around the world that people in Hermosillo didn't know.
See.
So that way we're always like innovating and having that place to, I don't know, we imagined something, we saw something cool, and it's like, okay, let's get it done. The next part was how to get it done. And not, there's a lot of people who just imagine things but don't get it done. But I think there was a crowd of doers around us, and I think we consider ourselves doers. We don't plan much. We just get things done straight ahead. Sometimes it might be good, sometimes it might be bad, but at the end, getting things done, it's not that easy. But since we were so inspired and having so much fun, it became easy for us to get things done.
See.
And I don't know, it became something really fun, something really virtuous, something really like full of energy that was growing and growing and growing and inspiring people. And it became something, I don't know, some kind of mystical, I can say. It's like, we're like, how the hell is this growing so much? How the hell is this working so cool and it's being so fun?
Because the community really needed it, I think.
Exactly.
Like, my experience with Hermosillo was always a blast. I always had a great time. I played a show there in 2014 or something, and I visited there every once in a while, like on the way to San Carlos. But there never really felt like there was a lot for young people, or just like an obvious place to congregate or to find community, right? And I would say, from my perspective, close by but outside of the box, outside of the circle, I've seen since Parque La Ruina was formed, I've seen influx of creative professionals and notable musicians coming out of Hermosillo. So when La Ruina was formed, and then now you have multiple bands getting signed from Hermosillo, which is not a huge city, similar size to Tucson, right? It's really hard to get signed out of a city like Tucson. But then I see it in Hermosillo happening with bands like Sergeant Papers, Margaritas Podridas, Meth Math. These are all getting signed to great, labels or agents. And then you also have like these huge artists who are coming out of Hermosillo, like Cristian Nodal, Karin Leon, Nathaniel Cano, which I didn't know was from Hermosillo. But I think that a lot of that has to do with, like, they actually had a great place to play, and there was actually a great community built in around that place. So the growth was infectious and rapid, and these bands really caught a lot of steam. And then so much so that U.S. agents and publications and whatnot were taking notice. And I truly do think, from my experience working in venues and cultivating community and bands in particular, I think a lot of that is not, it's obviously they're very talented people, and a lot of it is first and foremost from that. But I think having the place that
You
and
build
the
the
space,
ecosystem. You
exactly,
build the ecosystem.
the ecosystem is a great way to say it, and I think, like, I just want to acknowledge that with you guys.
Now
'cause
that
it's
you're
huge.
mentioning it, like, music has been a really big part of our project, super big part, in the different levels, but music has been like there all the time. And what you said about the bands, like, from that are being signed from Hermosillo, like Sergeant Papers, Margaritas, but they're all bands that started playing at Onda Sonoro Studio, like,
Where Felipe,
exactly,
that
where
one,
Felipe
shout out
Garcia.
Felipe.
I remember, like, when we opened the co-working space, Espacio Abierto, Felipe opened his music studio over there, and I was like, and the bands like Señor
Señor
Kino
Kino,
started
sí.
playing over there. They used the spot as a rehearsal station, and they recorded their first album, second album over there, as well as Margaritas Podridas. So, like, my analogy, or what I said, is, if I'm also a musician, I love playing music, but I would love to have an environment like that when I was growing up, or when I was around 15 to 20 years. There's like having a studio, like, of friends that let us use it because they like what we do. And actually, when Jose Luis was telling you about his brother-in-law that plays music and does music, I remember that when we opened the park, there weren't venues in Hermosillo. There aren't venues in Hermosillo, but we said, like, well, let's build a place where our friends who play music can play, and that gave it a lot of meaning to us.
I think music has that power, right? Like, it's great to put music at the center of a project, because it really is like the medium that can really rope people in, to bring people together. It always forms community, music, and I think it's cool you guys
Actually, yeah,
started with that.
I was thinking, as when Ricky was speaking, I was thinking, actually, that also happened in food, because also food brings people together.
Sí.
Right? It's like, so when we put music and food together, as well as that happened in music, that was happening also in food. I mean, there's a couple of restaurants who've grown and opened multiple spots and everything, entrepreneurs in food, which are also artists on their spectrum, right?
Yeah.
But at the end, they're all creators.
Yeah.
And that's something that puts us all together. That's the common denominator. It's like, okay, we're creators, we're doers, we're people who won't settle just receiving, but others come and give you. They just want to create and create and create.
Yeah.
and Hermosillo was eager for a place for creators to have somewhere to express themselves.
Let's talk more about the food part because I feel like we're so we're so we're
We
so
we
like
haven't even started talking about what we do, man.
I know we're just so like
We're lost.
in sync, like the band, right? No, but no, yeah. I mean, I think let's back up and talk more about that food part, right? Because in reality, Parque La Ruina started as a food truck park, and I guess my first question would be like, was there a food truck scene in Hermosillo when you did that? Did you see a need because there was a lot of food trucks?
It was just starting.
Okay.
It was just starting, and it was kind of a problem to the city because they're like food trucks were stopping at parks and public spaces. Of like, okay,
There was
and
no regulation.
there was no regulation for them, and they were looking for a place to settle. So like we can solve a problem for them. At the beginning, the park was trying to build like little cabins, and the idea was okay. Whenever an entrepreneur starts a food business, I mean, I don't know here, but in Mexico, I think like the
It's
statistics
expensive. It's super expensive to
super
open a
expensive,
restaurant.
and 90% of the entrepreneur like the startups in food they failed after the second year, I think, around. So but still a lot of entrepreneurs in the city, the main idea is I want to do something. Oh, let's build a taco truck. I want to build a restaurant. And so they always look up to building a restaurant. And I think restaurant and food and beverage is it's a good it's a good school for entrepreneur because they're
Yeah.
like it's really hardworking. You need to really hard work to get them to survive.
Yeah.
But the idea was okay, if we work together, you can do the best burger, I can do the best tacos, you can do the best salads, and that way you can focus on what you're doing, and everything else we put it all together and make it cheaper for us, and we can elevate the success rate. So that was the main idea. The main idea was building cabins, and actually the main idea was like I help you with the accounting and everything, but it was too much work.
Yeah,
So
I
then
bet.
we switch it to food trucks. And like that way you can put a food truck. If it doesn't work, you can sell it and then move away, and you don't have to invest that much money.
Yeah.
But we can have like the bathrooms,
yeah.
the environment and everything for you to develop correctly.
And something awesome was like having different vendors
Yeah.
helped us attract different publics.
Exactly.
Like having different tastes in food. Yeah, like Jose Luis told it before. We were looking for the best pizza, the best burger, the best. Oops, desconectado.
Sorry.
Se apagó. Yeah, I think we're back.
Sorry.
I think we're back. What were you doing with
Happy
your feet? Oh,
I was trying to play footsies with you.
so that was the main idea, like having the best food in the food truck of each kind.
Yeah. So you
And-
guys like went out and found them and curated that.
It was
huh?
super hard. Like,
Yeah, I
people
bet.
didn't believe in what we were doing. They were like, "What do I pay rent if I just park in the street and do my own thing? Why would I go with you?" You know. And like Jose Luis told in the at the breakout room, we built this large wooden tables like for 20 people. And even the food truck vendors that we proposed to come in the park were like, no, no one's gonna want to sit with other people that are not in their table.
Yeah.
So it was hard at first. Like,
It was hard getting the idea on the people, but as soon as we started building it, and the place started to get all the
The momentum.
the momentum and the magic, suddenly people were like, okay, oh, this looks fine, this looks fun, this looks, and as soon as we were building it, we got the security to invest a little bit more. As I told you in the room over there, I mean the budget was low, but as soon as we felt more secure with like, okay, we can invest a little, we can risk a little bit more. The food trucks also risked it with us, and I can tell you at the beginning it was so plain and simple, and it was so natural. That I didn't know how much I was going to charge the food trucks, and I told them, I mean, guys, I don't know how much I'm going to charge you guys. Let's you can come in here. We need to make business, and but what we can do is like I'll go charge you this, and if we spend more money, we can share it among us and make it cheaper. I'm gonna. At the beginning, that worked. It was so like so transparent,
That's the way to do it.
like a co-op.
so real. and right now it's kind of the same. I mean, it's got the same soul. For practical issues, we just charge a rent, and this is what's covered in it. But the idea at the beginning was the same. It's still the same. It's like, how do we build value together? Therefore, we can have a better, like, survival rate for you guys, have it easier for you to operate, and everyone can do good business out of it.
And so, how many did you start with?
8.
And how many now?
I think we have space for 12.
Okay.
and-
All right. It seemed like there were more, but it's just so
It's
well
like
laid
12
out.
And we have also other spaces that are not food trucks.
cheaper
Okay.
and smaller
Like
for them, like for other
kiosks.
countries.
Right, and you have the like artisan vendor booths now too.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Like
And
street vendors.
When did you put those in?
They've always been
Oh, cool.
around, but like formally, I think 6 months. Something we do is different types of events, and one of our biggest events is a bazaar.
Oh, cool.
Like having like you had at the street fest, like
Sí.
having vendors sell their products, local vendors sell their products at the park. So it started as a mercado, we called
Sí.
it Mercado Quino.
Market.
That was actually the first idea of Jose Luis naming the park. It was gonna called Mercado Quino, not Parque La Ruina, but suddenly one construction worker named it
Really?
Parque La Ruina because there was no name of this. There was no name for La Ruina, but when they used to go to buy construction equipment, construction stuff, like they would say, "Where do I take this?" Take it to La Ruina. Take it to the ruins. There was
Yeah.
the only ruins around town.
Like to dump it?
Yeah.
yeah, to just deliver stuff.
So the construction had several constructions at the same time. So like the housing, I don't know, the house A, but they didn't on the administration papers and how they knew the name of the construction is like Las Ruinas, Las Ruinas.
Okay.
So
I love it.
and
Yeah,
That's
the
a great
name
name.
came naturally.
That's good. Organico.
yeah.
Like everything.
Yeah,
He still
I-
works with a great friend of us who built the park with us,
Yeah.
Sammy.
Still involved?
Shout
Oh, yeah.
out to Sammy Bay.
Shout out. Great
Sammy
work.
and
Great
and
work.
Pedro was the name of the construction worker. He still
Okay.
works here.
Pedro.
Pedro.
Shout out. Yeah, it's a great name. I mean,
It was a cheap naming.
Hey, come on. Sometimes you just gotta pick a name and roll with it,
Yeah.
you know. But that one seems
What
like
you build on top of the name is what matters.
Exacto. But no, I mean, as you said, the name was very organic in its forming, and it seems like the whole project has been very organic, and I really think that's why it's so now deeply rooted, because when you don't force things and you let them build organically and with transparency and with the cooperative and collaborative mindset, it's really hard to for those things to fail, you know. So shout out. I believe in the cooperative mindset, so I think I just wanted to also acknowledge that. What else, guys? There's a 6 skate park. Ricky was telling me that you built it with a famous BMXer from Tucson that
Shout
I don't
out
know.
to our 3-time X Game gold medalist, Kevin Peraza. He's a good friend of us.
All right, and he's from Tucson.
He's from Tucson. His parents are from Hermosillo, Sonora.
Okay.
And his wife is also from Hermosillo, Sonora. So
Que bueno.
we have him act sometimes. I was a huge fan of him.
He's a great dude.
Once
Yeah, cool.
Respect
I
for
was
him.
working at the park, and I saw him like one day before winning in the gold medal in the X Games. I'm a super fan of action sports.
Okay.
So then I was just walking around La Ruina, and then he appeared in front of me. And then like I got starstruck. Oh my god. ¿Eres Kevin? And he's like, yeah, bro. I'm like, oh, congratulations. I'm your fan, yeah. Whatever you want to do with us. Please.
Please do it.
Let's make something happen. Then Jose Luis got the larger conversation with him. And fast forward, I think like 1 year from that time, we built the biggest skate park bowl in northern region Mexico.
Felicidades.
With the guys from California skate parks. It was amazing
Cool.
knowing those guys.
Yeah, those guys built parks for Olympics.
Oh, wow.
For
X Games.
so
It's a really well made park. I mean,
bringing
it's really nice.
worldwide quality space built has been super good for for young skaters
Yeah.
to develop over there.
Well, when I was there, I noticed it was like mostly young kids in the bowl, and like everyone was very respectful of that. And seems like there's a really nice community and culture around like the skating BMX scene there.
That's been like a culture and community builder also by itself.
Yeah, I bet.
We noticed that.
And there was a show there. There's a punk show there when I went too. It's just like perfect.
I, actually, I mean, it's been a community builder by himself. The park. What we were trying to do is like the Olympics were getting like skateboarding. I think skateboarding, surfing, and BMX were entering the Olympics in 2020 in Tokyo. Mm-hmm. So it matched perfectly with what, like there was not a venue, there was not a training facility for.
We were
for
gonna
young
build
kids.
the soccer fields before that.
Oh, really?
Never.
No, I was like, really?
No, I mean part of our culture. It's like why don't we bring? We need to bring things that haven't been done here in Hermosillo before.
Yeah.
And the facility for skate, there's been a couple skating facilities done by the government in Mexico, but not the quality that's needed for kids to develop and grow, and so we bet on that, and it's like, okay, this might be not the best business to get it done, but if we don't do it, no one's gonna do it.
Yeah.
If we don't build a California Skate Parks Bowl, no one's gonna do it ever.
Yeah.
And my kids will never have a place. I mean, I was a huge fan of Rocket Power.
And
I can tell you that I always imagine
Tony
having
Hawk
a
Pro
place like
Skater.
Tony
that.
Hawk Pro Skater,
Definitely,
growing
man.
up.
well, I just want to mention to Kevin and California Skate Park, there is a pending skate park project just rock skip away, the Cushing Street Skate Park project to be built under the freeway. My friend Caleb Gutierrez, shout out Caleb, and Mortal Skate Shop and some other folks have been working on that for many years now. And if you guys have any tips on how we could get that done, so there's the first all shaded
Wow.
skate park in Tucson, that would be sick. Just throwing that out there. Because I do think, I mean, also provides a safe space for young people, right? I mean, sure, some kids are drinking 40s and puffing on something at the skate park, but, you know, if we can get it done the way I saw it done at Parque La Ruina, I think that's an extremely positive thing for the community and for the young community, and something I want to see happen here too.
Yes.
So
Something that surprised us a lot was that it was appropriated by families. Like kids were
Yeah.
the main users of the bowl.
that was all
That
I
was
saw.
amazing. It's like, man, this been way better than we thought.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
they're
the
taking-
next generation of like, and you can go see the Olympics and the kids like 13 years old winning gold medalists. It's like, oh man, imagine having someone getting done that.
Yeah.
And well, one of
gonna happen.
some of the kids are already gold medalists in Mexico.
Yeah, it's going to happen for sure.
In Mexico, it's super weird to take other sports than traditional sports seriously.
Yeah.
Like Mexico has a really big soccer culture and baseball culture and athletics culture. So skateboarding, BMX, rollerblading are like left out. Are punk
Yeah,
sports.
They are.
And giving it, yeah, they are. But giving the la seriedad, the seriousness that it needs, because it's so freaking hard to land an
I can't do
ollie
it. I
or
can't
to
do it.
land a kickflip. So these people have really strong abilities, and
Yeah.
it's like empowering community to keep growing on what they're doing. That's what the park has been doing
Yeah.
all these 8 years.
But
while it
it's
was
also
open.
kind of bringing edgy things to the city,
See.
and not everyone does it.
And normalizing them.
Normalizing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which
That's
is awesome.
that's the cool part. It's like getting things which are. I mean, if you go to California, it might be something normal. But if you go to
Like
Hermosillo,
Venice Beach, for instance.
for example,
Yeah.
and that's what we're trying, getting edgy things in everything, because I think that's something cool about, like, creators always go to the edges of the city. Sometimes I don't know where I heard this, but always artists are like, I don't know, loners. They're people who don't want to be on the mainstream. They always go to the periphery, like to the edges of the cities, to the edges of the what's possible and not possible.
See.
So that way, when we bring that, it's like like normalizing edgy things, and that's part of the culture of the park also, right? Like
Yeah.
on different stuff. I mean, it might be on action sports, it might be on music, it might be on I don't know, venture capital, which is also a part of we know. There's no venture capital in Hermosillo, but I think one of the only parts in Mexico in Hermosillo where there's been a pitch beside university has been in the park.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a couple funds, and they flew in, I don't know, probably 10 startups, which in Series A, and they were like looking for fundraising, and they did it at the park. It's like kind of the things we were trying to get to the city to make it like push it a little bit forward.
Yeah.
In all the spectrum we were like interested in that can make a change in how we live there.
Huh.
Otherwise, we'll just stay there with a hat and doing naranjeros and baseball, which is great. It's awesome to have all that, but we don't know what we're missing until we know it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So
¿Cuántos años tienes?
35.
35? Two?
31.
31.
¿Tú?
32.
Nice.
But you are the future leaders of Hermosillo.
And that's what we realized. That's great, man. That's suddenly when we're doing the park, it's like, man, at some point, all the old guys are gonna die,
No offense, old guys.
and it's gonna be a responsibility to what happens to the city. Why don't we start getting all together and making a good environment and getting other people to think start the movement right now. So when it's a responsibility and when naturally we're the leader and the decision makers, we have something in common other than just looking for us.
And a strong foundation of
A strong foundation of
proven work
community
and
proven
and
work
morals
and exactly. And it's like if we share that right now, I bet when I'm probably at 20 years, as I was telling right now, probably 20 years from now, we're gonna be the decision makers. I mean, because other than we.
Well, because you
naturally-
just do things, right?
I mean,
because you're ready to just step up and do it.
One is just because we do it, another it's because there's no gonna other people they won't be any others to make decisions. But
Yeah.
both of them, I think we can start making decisions right now and raising our hands and saying, "Hey, the young guys, we're gonna one who are gonna leave the city in
Yeah,
next."
we're ready.
So you guys, you cannot be making decisions because you're not gonna be here when we take over the city. So
Yeah.
why don't we start looking forward? And our vision needs to be a long term and not just short term and looking for the community other than just for us.
See, and now you're a father, so
Exactly.
it's even more importante, no?
That,
It
that
feels-
was the
hits
time
home.
when young people needed to start taking it seriously.
It's
Like it's now our time, and
It's
it's
true.
it's in our control.
it's true.
Do we want to keep doing the same stuff we've seen? I'm like Jose Luis told you, he's not from Hermosillo. I'm not from Hermosillo.
Tijuana
either.
y qué?
Tampico.
Tapico, okay.
Tampico,
But like we saw this fertile land in Hermosillo and these people that were super accepting for really
Hungry.
hungry, but accepting good proposals. Like when something is honest, authentic, and it gives value back, people make it their own.
See.
So
Well, and because
let's
you
start
also
let's start taking
open
that
it
seriously.
up to other people, which is a very important.
Which I think it's
Thing you're
natural.
doing.
I mean, I just can make an analogy. When there's something happy happening in your life, what do you want to do? What you want to share with the people you love. So when this was happening to us, we just wanted to share to everyone we loved. And I mean, if you get a little bit hippie, you need to love everyone else around you. I mean, and that makes it easier for you to live.
When you say you get a little bit hippie, you mean like a little bit
a lot,
mushrooms?
a lot.
I'm just kidding.
a lot.
A lot of bit of mushrooms. No, that's great, guys. I mean, I deeply resonate, right? Like, I came back to my city after living 5 years in Nueva York, Los Angeles, and I found out I was going to become a father, and I immediately came back to Tucson, and I brought all that knowledge back to Tucson, or all that experience, and at this time, I feel very aligned, and I'm just trying to create the life I want here for quality of life, as you guys mentioned earlier, and so I can share that with the others here, and so they don't feel like they need to leave to find it. This is a beautiful place we live, and I say we because it's the same desert we share. It's the same beautiful mountain views. It's the same open and hungry community. we
It's
share
the same
these
heat
vibes.
in the summer.
Same heat, exacto. Very hot. And you know, that breeds a special kind of person, and I want to keep them here. I don't want to lose them to New York and Los Angeles anymore. And I think what we're all doing, and what I'm very excited that we're now brothers here, because what we're doing is we're putting out a bat signal from the Sonoran Desert region.
Exactly.
Stop fucking ignoring us, this is part of my language, and start paying attention. And if you're catching the signal, it's because you're also aligned in these values and these goals and this quality of life we seek. And you are welcome here if that resonates, right? If that connects to you, what we're doing here, come on out and come join the team, right? Come join the
Exactly.
community. And you guys touched on that in your session with Adrian and it's a hard one for me to say, Valeria. You know, they came from outside, and now they're deeply a part of what you guys created. And I see zero bit of you know, like gatekeeper mentality, like, oh, this is our thing. No, this is everyone's thing, and if you are about what it's really about, you are welcome to
The,
participate.
the Sonoran Desert is super sharing.
It is.
That's what I found. I'm from Tijuana. It's a super closed culture over there because there's so much things happening that people take a little more care of themselves.
See.
And are like afraid of other people. Sonora people are super welcoming, are super warm, are super accepting to anything that gives them value back. So I found a home and a safe haven in this desert.
But exactly as you said, Matt, that's what make it fun. I mean, fun and valuable. I can say that I just arrived this morning and I felt like home in 20 minutes. As soon as I entered here, I listened to music, I saw everything, and I was like, okay, this feels so natural for me.
Cool.
And I feel so home. I feel so, and the idea is to keep on bringing people who feel like that.
Well,
Because-
mi casa es tu casa, way.
Igual.
Anytime, okay?
Because
and I'm
people
glad
at
to
the
hear
end,
that.
people want to feel, they want to feel happy, they want to feel safe, they want to they want to feel like they have strong relations, that they want to feel welcomed. At the end, everything else doesn't matter. I mean, you can be rich, you can be the best one in whatever you think, but I think everyone's seeking to have a nice place, to feel welcome, to have someone to love, someone that loves you, someone who makes you laugh, some beers to enjoy with a friend. I mean, that's what life's about.
And that's the power of hospitality. Like
See.
not seeing
It's a
it,
son
not,
of a bitch to work in it,
not
but it's
not
worth
no
it.
no not brother.
just kidding.
Not seeing it as a business, but seeing it as a human value.
See. Yeah, and I mean, I think that being from the desert, you find really strong hospitality. You find really positive hospitality because we're so grateful when people are grateful to be here, right? When someone like a Calancho comes and is like, this is awesome, you're like, hell yeah, dude, you see it, you get it. But actually, Calancho is from the desert, no? Obregón.
Yes.
Shout out Obregón. But you know, just as an example of someone we welcome together and
That
have both
happens
had.
all the time.
Yeah,
that
almost
happened.
every
That
time.
happened to us. That happened to
Savannah
me.
Estrada today, they're like, Tucson's awesome, we love it immediately. And I'm like, thank you. Then you're welcome here. You know, when someone's like, city kind of sucks, I'm like, then get the fuck out of here. But you know, I mean, it's great. It's something about the desert people too. I don't know how to exactly articulate it, but it's like there's a resilience, right? There's a desperation in a way, right? You're in the desert. So you're happier by simpler things, or simpler things bring you happiness, right? Like
I think that what I've experienced is that the desert is so warm and so hot that effect has in the same people. Like people from the desert, really heartwarming.
yeah, I can see that. They're also sometimes grumpy because they're like, dude, it's been 100 degrees
All day.
for like 120 days straight.
Exactly.
Like, it is hot, dude. I'm done with this shit.
But as you say, you can you value simpler things in life.
See,
Because
The
when
nature.
when you have everything,
the 80-degree
you don't value
day.
it.
Yeah, exactly. When you have every single thing you could ever want, like in a place like New York, it's just not the same. It's not the same
Let's get out of
kind
there.
of lifestyle.
Let's get
I
out
like
of
New
there.
York. I do love New York, and I love my people out there, and I miss it at times. But I
Exactly.
can't imagine living anywhere else.
And it's a great place to make a family also.
See,
I think That's-
especially for you because you're only una hora y media from St.
From the
Carlos,
ocean. Yeah, that's
the most
great.
amazing beach. Tell us
Don't-
about what's going on there.
No, don't
maybe.
go to San Carlos.
No, don't go. Yeah, no.
Don't go to San Carlos.
No,
It's
full
not
of
a
trash
good,
and
not a
just
good
kidding, I'm
place.
just
No,
kidding.
I'm kidding. It's the best place ever.
It really
It's
is.
a great place. It's a great place.
Our last trip with Ricky down there, I was like, man, I've been traveling to beaches all over Mexico and elsewhere too, with my kid and mi esposa, and I'm like, dude, this is the best one. This might be the best one, like especially for young kids, because the water is nice temperature, it's nice and calm, and just we had 2 days total at Mesa Cortez, and it was just amazing, bro. It was exactly the recharge I needed going into like the final month of prep for TENWEST, and
Which, congratulations, man.
Gracias.
It surprised me. It's been amazing being here.
thank you, bro.
It's been really amazing being here.
I'm super grateful to work on this project with Liz and the team, and 2 years in, I think we're just going to get better and better. And my grand vision that I now share with the team is it's not just a Tucson thing, but I want it to be a regional thing. I want you guys here every year. I want you to tell us who needs to come up from Sonora. I want to reach better out to Phoenix, which we did more than ever this year. And I really want to bring this whole region, this whole Sonoran Desert region together. And then, of course, a few outside players. Paul Stamets, if you're listening. Yeah, right. Bring your mushrooms and everything and come do a keynote here one day. And
Shout out to TENWEST and Matt Baquet. They're
Yeah.
doing awesome. Really, this
Congratulations.
is a super inspiring event to be invited to.
cool.
You know?
Well, if you want to come back, the invitation's already on the table. Actually, let me.
Let's sign it. Let's sign it.
I'm just kidding. I got my Parque La Ruina notebook here for all my deepest thoughts.
You can get it at our Parque La Ruina booth at the lobby at the TCC.
Booth space 1. But all right, should we wrap this up? I mean, we could probably go longer. I could get more beer.
This has been beautiful, bro.
All right,
let's
guys.
leave it. Let's have another podcast this next year.
See. Well, guys, again, what you're doing, it's world class. It's not just great for Hermosillo. It's great for Mexico. It's great just to witness no matter where you're from. I'm very excited to do more things with you guys to represent both of our communities and make them one. And thank you for, coming out, taking the time off work, bringing all your people up for TENWEST and trusting us, and for bringing the beers, for bringing the vibes. And, anytime you want to bring more energy into Tucson, like I said, mi casa es tu casa, mi ciudad es tu ciudad. And, let's go party.
Thank you for appreciating what we do.
Dude, big
Thank you,
time.
man.
I can't
And-
wait
Thanks,
to come
man.
back.
I can congratulate you and this what you're doing. It's amazing. Also, I mean, I think we're here for some reason. I feel we can. I feel really honored to be part of this. I really feel honored to get to know you,
Likewise.
and I mean we're keen to keep on growing this together, man.
Let's go.
Thank you
Sonoran
so much.
Desert.
Thank you so much for having us.
Viva Sonora.
Viva Sonoran Desert.
Okay, gracias.
Great,
We're
thank
out. Podcast out.
TENWEST Impact Festival is produced by Startup Tucson and Ranch House Media. The 2023 edition is presented by the Arizona Commerce Authority and brought to you by Arizona Arts Live and Pima Community College. The TENWEST podcast is made possible by Cloud Microphones. To learn more and view the full list of sponsors and partners, visit tenwest.com.